I do a little jig every time I hear that intro. Hi, my name is Steph. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome home. We're going to utilize one of my oldest sets of scrolls today to see what shapes and symbols may stand out and speak to our psyche and psychic senses. We'll also add on Tarot and Oracle, and where Mr. Ghost Gift is here kicking, we have Ghost Tube for any audio additions from the afterlife that may further add to our aura adventures. So fire signs. Timestamps are below and in the comments section. And let's get going. I'm going to start off with Aries when you're ready.
You won't understand.
Aries, when you are ready, you know the drill. If you'd like to take a moment to close the eyes, cleansing your palette of perception, releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support in the name and honor of the Aryan Collective. Okay, you have 2 scrolls here. We'll get you some talismans as well and angel number. So we got some solar plexus stuff going on. I'm seeing one of those TVs or projectors back in the day that would roll into the classroom. Something sunny. I'm seeing something sunny. It's almost like a duck, like a happy duck. And I roll in the show about a happy duck. Could even be a story. I also feel like I'm getting a hug. You might be getting also a hug from your grandson in spirit. So we have here fairy magic and goddess, number 13 and 42, if those mean anything to you. Healing feminine energy. And as well with fairy magic, respectfully work with the fairies to achieve your goals. Maybe this is something you're doing in the happy duck. I feel like it's a story, Aries. Like you might be the happy duck, but it's being shown to a classroom as an example, whatever it may be that you're working on within oneself, and externalizing the best you can with the Fey magic. It reminds me of any sort of path that I'm taking, and I'm broadening the path. Like if this is the point of where I came from, I'm very fertile in my frequencies.
Inmate.
And I am able to actually get out of this timeline, timestamp, and I'm broadening out. That's how I feel like that's going on. Sorry if my shadow's all over the place with the window open. There's something going on up here. I'm just trying to decide how I'm tuning into it. Excuse me. Grounding. And maybe that's what it is. It's a grounding conversation with the 2 here. I'm seeing this anchor as devil horns. What has once anchored me to this time stamp, to these rings of time. There also could be something about rings coming through. So sorry, Aries. Apologies. Because this is a boat, it's a canoe. The way I'm seeing it, it's a boat, it's a canoe, it's a conversation between two goddesses, to the waning and the waxing, the past and the future. I feel very present, and I'm a happy duck. I feel as though at some point in time too, you might have wandered away from like seeing a line of ducks, and you have wandered off on your own. It kind of like broadening the territory. And wherever you are right now, you might be grounding into that and anchoring in. You're like, yeah, this is the pond I'm going to play in for a little bit. That's how I'm feeling. And how perfect with your angel card numerology. I am a creator. You are one with the creator, and there are no limits to what you can achieve. You have the ability to create something new and incredible in your lifetime here on earth. New. This is where once was, not over and over again, but as an experience, and now you're out. This is very close to also a Reiki symbol. And this fertility of sorts. Also something about your neck. I don't know, like letting the neck move, or the rotation of the neck. Even like Aries where you might be looking, like if you have to oscillate all the way around, but I keep hearing like just move the whole body and
Why
go
did
there.
you come?
Like move the 2 feet and a heartbeat. The head will follow, and if the head sees something, like the duck gets distracted, but it's not always a distraction. It's also a spark of inspiration, and when the head turns, the body will follow. Some of you might dealt with sorry, quick little thing here. I think it's a son in spirit. It's a son in spirit or grandson. He's trying to communicate to you through hearing specifically. I don't know if you hear certain kind of music or sounds or something about the way your grandson does something, but it reminds you of them, and it is beautiful. It's like a little gift for you. So thank you for holding space if that's not your part of the Scry story. So wandering into your cave of ice, and I'm feeling this beautiful, okay, even still, like look at all the glow. It's the glow of your solar plexus energy stepping forward. It it's like being distracted by beautiful things. Maybe you're seeing the beauty in you, acknowledging it, the beauty in your family, something, and maybe the beauty in boundaries. Apply whatever yada does feel well here. Because at some point in time, maybe you have felt in your cave of winds of how you're feeling a little fiery. And I understand we're here in the fire, but this glow now, it's like the fire that is sharp and like the sparks and shards of the fire. What is that saying? Aries, what is that saying? You can grab a piece of coal or fire with an aim to throw it, but you're the one who gets burned by trying to hold on to it, even to throw it. And I feel like maybe you have been rebellious, maybe against your own beauty, the beauty of people, places, and things. And this is what you're out of. This, it feels like magic. Do you believe in magic? And yes, you do. Your magic. It doesn't have to be on anyone else's terms. And it feels like as I step too close to the sun, I might get burned. So I do want to be mindful, Arians, of your boundary. And I do think you're working with a different guide. Can we get Cave of Hearth Fires for the Aryan Collective? Thank you. High Priestess of Water. Something cooled off. Something cooled off. I also think this is the guide you've been working with. A different guide you've been working with. It's like being an initiate or initiation of fire and initiation of water. Running your hands under a cool tap after holding on maybe any sort of...
there is.
Fiery fertilities. It could for some be passion, but that's not the vibe I'm getting as I'm here. Something cooled off and it worked to my benefit. It's like lava that cools over eons, years, months, weeks. I don't know how long it takes that. But that cooling process is your understanding. Again, look at all that glow. You be glowing. Lots of feminine energy here as well, but I feel like your masculine energy is holding you strong in whatever, like, it has cut down the trunk or a tree of something and made room for something. Cave of Earth we have here, oh my goodness, cycles, individuality, and hope. And maybe that's perfectly indicative of at least of this reading. And if this isn't your scry story, again, thank you for holding space for others. Because you are creating this sense of individuality. The cycle that we've been speaking of over here, you're out of it. And you're not out of it in some poor taste. You're out of it because you walked towards your own illumination, your own understanding. Which seems like it happens at night, or in the dark night of the soul. That's commonly depicted. This doesn't feel like that. This feels elemental through fire, earth, water, air, and however you want to apply that. That's not for me to apply. But it's like you go through respectfully working with each of the elements. Like if this was a line of elemental energy, and it will change accordingly, but you can go through and you're like, hey, air, earth, fire, water, space, and then I'm out. And now we're here, earth, air, fire, water, space. And you're at this new point of space. You're actually outside of something, and I think it's a cycle. Oracle card for Aries. Thank you so much, Arians. If you're still here with me, I appreciate you. We will do your big ink blot in the book for July coming up soon. So please do consider sharing and subscribing. Look at this. The journey that you've been on. And it's not full of hopeless hope. It's not just hope that is a hostage hope. This is a journey of your glow. And while that glow can transform into fire, you can also just illuminate your own understanding on this path and allow this to be a fire walk to prove something to yourself or whatever sort of tradition that might mean to you. Initiate a fire. But in your heart of hearts, I'm feeling the water. Some sort of rage is cooling down and understanding is literally being infused in. It feels amazing. Arians, if I haven't said already, gratitude galore for you being you. And I will see you so again soon. Until next time. Bye. Leo, welcome. Come on in if you'd like to scooch up a chair while we're sitting here getting ready. I'm going to grab your scroll and then we'll add on some tarot and oracle along the way. So, Leos. Did I say yes, Leos? Okay, here we go. Sorry. Here is your scroll in the center in your mid-world of your palm. You know the drill. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below or keep to oneself, but I do appreciate any interactions with the channel. Sorry, I've got the window open a little bit, so keeping my shadow to myself. There are some cats down here, and there's a big old tree. I'm seeing a teddy bear with this big tree. Big, big, big tree. Okay, so spirit of something, someone's is sprinkling something on your tree of life. Leo. Okay, there we go. Something on your tree of life.
Closer.
We have fire, abracadabra with wings, and air. Fantastic good fortune and lucky chances. Fire, the element of fire heralds new life and positive transformation. And with air, work with the element of air to see the truth.
Locket.
The point being for me is abracadabra with wings. This tree, this higher self tree, how do I say? Thank you. The way I'm seeing this tree is like a big old sugar maple or Japanese maple. It doesn't have to be that. That's the way I'm seeing it to ensure it's depicted to have a meaning that is beyond, that has benefits in both worlds, if I may, the human and the higher self. And there are these cats that kind of sit and look up the tree because they can see the spirits working in your tree of life. This teddy bear of sorts, or somebody in sleepers, like from when you're a kid or a toddler with sleepers, and this is indicating it might be something in the subconscious realm or something from when you were a child, and acknowledging how much I don't want to say your soul has grown. How do I want to say that? Because I'm hearing soul is always the size of source, but when it feels contained in a physical expression, it feels like it's not all there, but it's not there. But there's something about your growth, nonetheless, that I really, really want to acknowledge, and spirits want to acknowledge. You might even be having like some sort of tree house kind of feel, or you've created a closet or your bath time or a personal ritual, or your drive to and from work is becoming very sacred time to you. And it might be time in that time that you, doesn't matter what you're doing per se, but it induces time to like nurture this tree of you And while this tree of life of you is in a forest of many, there's accolades for what you're doing for this, for your tree, for your trunk, right? And how they all communicate otherwise. Okay.
It's warm.
So, yes. Okay. Yeah, because there might be something that you've let go of. Cancer energy might be in there somewhere. Maybe some of you are in remission if there's been some sort of cancer, or even like a canker sore, and just allowing that angst to be relieved. It doesn't matter which direction you go. It's almost like I'm trying to let go of measuring my tree, the scope of my soul in this human experience. I don't know if that makes sense, but there it is. I'm also seeing dogs. They're happy dogs. I'm trying to decide what dog exactly I'm seeing, if it's helpful. But anyway, it's not the point. It's a happy dog. And it's like they can only get up so far being with their strengths, right? So this dog, maybe there's, and whatever dog might mean to you, you know, it's like you might put stairs by a bed to help the dog get on the bed. So things have been built along the way to, like, in this tree house, so you can bring a dog, something loyal that you love with you, that may not have the inherent agility to get to, it's not even midway, but to enjoy the view and just to spend the time with you, right? It's like carpooling because you want to spend time together. It's like, oh, well, let's go do groceries together. We don't have a lot of time together, but we can do this task together, and it is quality time if we say it's quality time. Something along that lines. Where the cat can just sit at the bottom, is like looking up, and maybe these animals mean something to you, and the cat's like, well, I can come up with anytime I want, but they're just watching. They're just watching. For now, anyway. Angel number for Leo. 25. I am intelligent. You have a great ability, I wanted to say agility, to take in and process information, both conscious and subconscious levels. Lure curiosity is endless, and your desire to dive deep into a variety of subjects will bring you an immense awareness of the world. This is like your ability to process. Even from a child, maybe you've had to be really smart. You're very witful. This tree is also, like, the foliage of it is reminding me of being deep into the variety of subjects, lots of branches and lots of leaves. It feels nourishing, and it feels safe. It feels shady. You're not afraid of your shadow or anything like that. This is like in the place where, like, magic happens. And for you, like, the way I'm feeling it as a guest in your aura, so thank you, is when I'm up in this tree house or spending this quality time with the air, magic happens. Because it's like your intelligence and your intuition, your subconscious and your conscious minds can flood in and be nourished, like, and then you can tap in the earthly time or other times like the maple, and you can tap in to receive that anytime you'd like. So coming into your cave of ice is the fledging. So there's something you're bringing forward from when you were smaller, incarnately smaller, not looking at the size and scope of soul, and not in assuming the size of someone or something's brain indicates their intelligence as well. It's the variety of information there, the variety.
You are funny.
Thank you. Well, you are funny too.
Where is it?
Because there's even birds in this tree. And then there's like aquatic things in this tree. Like, this tree has an ecosystem for all. Some of you might also be working with a fountain. In your cave of winds of what you're thinking, it's like a secret clubhouse. It's like, this is whatever this symbolic space is of this tree house, but I'm going to call it this tree house, it's your space, and it's forbidden to others, but there's it's very open to other energies, mostly elemental energies that are also incarnate in things. But it's just fantastic. So when you allow things in your mind, information, desires, and the lure of curiosity, you're very
Grandfather.
I'm not quick to accept. I acknowledge the curiosity, and I continue curiously, cautiously, but I don't just take it in. I don't know how else to better say that. And some just may not know that you have like this secret clubhouse. It's like, it's just not available to everyone. And that's not, it's just good boundaries. And your cave of hearth fires is this oath, and it's like a secret knock of the heart to get in. I'm loving this. I am loving this. This is totally like a clubhouse feel, a consciousness clubhouse that is growing with all of these energies and elements, that is of a higher mind, if I may, of a higher mind. And then coming into your cave of rivers of how you're feeling is listening and complicated. But I feel like it's not complicated. This is the beauty of it. Something is so ornate. The workings of a tree, the workings of how you might communicate with spirit, the spirit of things, elementals, energy, people, places, or things. It's complicated, sure. So every so often or whatever this often is, maybe it's every day going to work, maybe it's once a week, you go to a park and read, but whatever your thing is. And that's you listening, and it uncomplicates everything. It uncomplicates, because there's something about some of these, like what might make you curious, like, ends up complicating things. It's not malicious or on purpose the way I'm feeling it. It's like, oh, well, that complicated things. I think sometimes it's when I'm getting involved with other people's tree, if that makes sense. Cave of Earth, thank you. We have here confidence, and more animals. It's wonderful. It's on the bottom, High Priestess of Fire. Yeah, your passion really actually is also very curious to others. And I feel like you might be perceived, Leo, as complicated sometimes. And it could be because of this intelligence and this magic feel that you have. I've let go of some line of thought that was binding my book. Yeah, I don't know how else to say that.
Are you scared?
And it could be a few lines of thoughts. It's like, because it's like seeing all these fishing lines, and I had the intention to catch X amount of fish, or greater my odds of catching a certain kind of fish. But then as maybe, you get a tug on the line or something like that, I pulled them in. I'm like, no, okay. And now I've decided to let go of, say, 3 of the lines out of 5 and keep the 2 going. But I feel more like a strategist with those 2.
Where is it?
And I have a lot of confidence moving forward in this tree, because I feel like I have a tree house here, or at least access points here, and then there's more up here, and you'll keep going. Closing out oracle message for Leo. Leo on the loose. I love it. You've dedicated your life to something. There might be a cause or something that you have dedicated your life to. That is a thread in almost all that you do. It doesn't have to be the thing that you do, but it's infused in what you do. You have here the underworld and grief, Leo. So some of you in this letting go, somebody has gone to spirit. And if this isn't part of your scry story, again, thank you for holding space for others. With the wings and the let go, somebody that you cared about has perhaps been cremated, and you have put their ashes around a tree or on a boat. Again, there's lots and lots of elements, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and returning you home to have all of the lines open to communicate with you and to be replenished, Hand over your known, a shift is near. Take a leap, your journey is clear. With grief we have. It is but a mere glimpse of nothingness, hidden away deep within the chambers of your mourning, in the red clovers, birthing lost illusion. So this is what I was talking about, that let go. And maybe it's like there's complications in the relationship. There's complications in how the resonance of your relationship was when they were incarnate. And you might feel heaviness in relation to that.
Michelle.
But the way I'm hearing is, but you're listening. You listen to the, how do I say, the essence of not focusing on a fight, or if somebody was ill or wasn't doing well, and maybe there was words or just, resentments. Maybe you were feeling the heaviness of caring for somebody or having to be there a lot, this responsibility. It's all very complicated. At least the way I'm hearing it as, please don't hold yourself in that underworld while here, focusing on that big book, big picture. There's a million other memories that far outweigh the last 6 months, 8 weeks, 2 years, etc. Please undo that thread. Also, do what you did for me. Cremate that thread that's holding you there. Like that fishing line we were talking about, do not let the last lifeline be guilt and grief. For others, sorry Leos, you have been through the passageway. Like when I say the underworld, I'm seeing it as like actually the earth world. And that's not in an insult. That's just how I'm seeing it. And you can watch because they're under your foliage. They're your shade. You provide a cooling sensation for maybe others that are going through griefs. For others that the sun is too hot, it's too bright. What they're going through, confusion. It's like watching a pasture of cows or animals, pick anything, and they will gravitate to a tree together. You are the tree. You provide shade when it's too sunny, a cool when it's a little too hot to touch, and it's very much so appreciated. Leos, I'm so grateful for you. I will see you next month for your big old ink blot, what we'll do in the book. But until then, gratitude galore. I will see you soon. Bye. Hi, Sages. If you're ready to pitter patter, get at her, let's dive in. I hope you guys are doing well and you're feeling life. It's feeling good.
I like you.
I like you as well. Sages. Okay, there is your scroll that will be in your mid-world of your center palm. You know the drill. If you see, sense, or feel anything, please feel well to comment below. Drop an emoji. Any interactions with the channel is appreciated. Okay, so something wants a hug. I feel like I want a hug. It's like Darth Vader wants a hug, Sages. Darth Vader needs a hug too, A little bit of love goes a long way. I'm also seeing a totem pole. I'm also stepping on, either I have big shoes, clown feet, or something about the feet. You have here healing energy as your talisman. Because it is kind of like that feeling, if I may. It's like this tree is growing up here, and the branches go out and embrace like a hug. Maybe you are hugging a tree. I don't know. Maybe that's what you want to do, receive from a tree. Because there's something about this totem specifically. There's an energy of a person specifically in this totem. Somebody you might know. It might be a guide or a guardian, something along that lines. If you can imagine different animals, creatures, or characters that would be in your totem, I feel like even if you just write them down, be like, bear, wolf, fly, slug, whatever. I feel like that would be something. Here for sages, safe and happy travels, protection from harm when journeying. For some of you, you might be doing some shadow work, subconscious work, unconscious work, psychedelic work, journeys, walking, talking, medicines, whatever the case may be. Pick a direction is how I'm seeing it, a direction. But it's like finding out how sweet Darth Vader really was. And yeah, see, because even knowledge is here on the bottom. You found something out through this healing journey, knowing that you are safe and happy, and it's building up to I think more than you might even be able to imagine. More than you can imagine. What's with the feet thing? I think I'm receiving in the feet. What is your angel number? 777. I am in the flow. Your purpose flows from within you, and everything that is unfolding or being revealed to you is part of your purpose. A state of peace and calmness in your soul. Is this what you're flowing with traveling? It's almost like traveling by boat. And then you have 7 on the bottom, being brilliant. Yeah, so you're uncovering knowledge. Some of you might be in like mystery schools or stepping into something that appears mysterious. This totem keeps coming at me again. It's like I'm focusing. I understand, as Steph, as a guest here in your Aura Stages, I understand this cannot be predicted, but it's carved out along the way. This totem, it's carved out.
I'm right here.
We are so right here with you. And I feel like somebody is with you. You have the knowledge that there is somebody with you. You heal them and they heal
26.
you. Maybe this is your partner. Maybe this is, again, guide, guardian, whatever the case may be. But something that you might have gone through, you're either getting a hug or giving a hug. And then I'm seeing a bell, if a bell means anything to you. And I think it's like a Paddington Bear hat. I think it's for in the rain. It's like 2 feet and a heartbeat, the human experience, and a hat on your higher self. Like, I don't even know how else to say it. Okay, let's go into the cave of ice. And we have here summon. This is, to me, if you can imagine with me, fire being very warm. I guess you don't need to imagine it, but there you go. Warm light, infrared light is warm. And now go to blue light, white light. It would feel cool. And with this summoning card here in the cave of ice, it unites that coolness of this hot. Do I want to say higher? I think I want to say higher. It's like the top of the totem pole. And my ability to summon maybe healing energy or, again, like knowledge. Maybe it's like I'm observing other people's purposes in flow to have a resonance, understanding, and appreciation. I don't know, sages, if you are the healer or being healed. Probably a little bit of both. In your cave of winds is individuality. And I feel like I'm looking at a bunch of different people, belief systems, ideas, ways of doing things. Almost from like this observer space where I'm like, pretend I'm not here. I am in awe. I am in awe. Reading books on different religions, reading books on different versions of history from different points of view. I feel like I am a reporter, an observer, something. I don't know how else to say that. sages. And this could have to do with more of the spiritual realm, as a lot of this mysticism is here, but it's almost like you're uncovering it. And whatever you decide, you summon the information to come forward from a very high frequency. And then as you do things to learn it and embody it, it becomes part of you. In your cave of hearth fires is the high priestess of water and conclusion, a beginning and an ending. It's like one book ends and I'm on to the next one. Maybe this is journaling, inner reflections with the priestess of water, priest or priestess. And it's like you can go back and look at your flow of life, your frequency, without judging it. You have another book here. Sages, do you write a book? Are you reading lots of books? Maybe it's audiobooks. I'm not really sure. Even darker knowledge, occult, again, histories from different points of view. I don't necessarily think I'm looking for a truth. It's perspective, and I'm in awe. It's like seeing a tribe in the Amazon
Be careful.
live, flourish, and have different ways of doing things, agreeable or not, or in alignment, but I'm impressed. Cave of Rivers. Because it takes a whole lot of strength to be able to go up and hug Darth Vader and say, do you need a hug? And not that that is to diminish anyone, or to, even if that's of your shadow side. To even be an observer is a strength, to sit and observe and not get involved. What is that? Like a documentary or a documentarist? You might be a journalist that has your own channel. You know the flow that everyone works through, and I guess there's like a thread of information, but the way you capture it, the way you speak to it is very individual. Cave of Earth for the sages. Ooh, okay. We have here, ooh, beep, beep. Letting go. And this is the beautiful thing when you're in this space, and maybe this is the way you are reaching heights, is your ability to let go of being or seeing others, being oneself, I'm not really sure, in a consistent state of healing. You know what I mean? There are parts of you when the documentary or the observation, the listening has been infused within, a new book starts, a new journal, a new topic, a new subject matter, or you go deeper within it, or anything along that lines. And when the cave of earth of letting go, it's letting this one thing be ended and moving on to the next one. And not this moving on in a diminished of, moving on, because for one reason or another, it's coming through like a journalist, and it could be like, hey, we're moving on to the next story, and there's this hustle, and that's great. Maybe the hustle's there. Maybe the hustle is very healing for you. But I feel like the way you're going about something, whatever this symbolically may symbolize for you, the hustle is in your heart. It's not in this hog wild, I don't want to insult it. That I don't want to insult my observations of it. It's just that's not my flow. But here's the funny thing. Somehow there's all this hustle and bustle to get to the next story, whatever that is, that you see, you observe, you're listening. And somehow, so they go off to this, and you end up at the same place they are, but a little bit before them. And they're like, well, how did you even get here? We didn't see you in a tizzy. We didn't see you driving erratically on the road and creating unnecessary risks. You stayed in a flow of knowledge and healing. And the way you travel is a little bit differently. It feels light-footed. And I think it has something to do about giving your Darth Vader a hug. I don't know. Closing out message for sages. You guys are great. Thank you so much for being here. Third harvest.
Qualified.
Daughters of the woods, Daughters of the woods, feel thy sacred swell with suppleness. Taste the gathering of honey's milk filling your emptiness. This is what you're filling your life with. High quality harvests. You hustle when you need to hustle, but you don't stay in the hustle as a norm, because that starts to hinder and hurt. Maybe that's even just of your heart. When you go in some sort of way to whatever it is in your life as the story, to get the story, to your interest in the subject, you help heal it by being there. You just naturally give off a healing vibe, but you also have the ability to let go, especially with all this water and high frequency spirit, because of the work you've done with your shadow, this Darth Vader coming through, you're above and below. You don't carry them for others. You help transform it, but it's still up to them to learn how to flap wings, fly, buzz around, whatever the case may be. Devour the ferocious calling within the howling of your spirit. Run wildly into the freedom of your knowing. This is when you exert, when you are in your flow and you are free. You move incredibly with your shadow and your shine together. Again, I don't want to insult anything outside of you, but when you see this crazy hustle, because it's just not your way, or you've tried it and you're like, no, it's not balanced enough. There's too much risk and not enough reward. Or it's a shallow reward with high risks or deep risks. But I feel like when you step in, and every time you seem to step in, it's even like with this conclusion and this start, the black and the white. It is how you are an individual for your continuous harvests. Yeah. I'm going to let this be, sages. I want to thank you so much for being my muse, and I will see you again soon for July. We'll do your full booking plot. But until then, have a great day. Bye. Woo.